Hello and welcome to the EuroWhat, episode number 22 for the week of July 16th, 2018. I'm Mike McComb, and I'm joined today by Ben Smith. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Mike.
We're a couple of Americans trying to make sense of the Eurovision Song Contest, and this week we'll be talking about the latest European alleged music generator, the 2018 World Cup.
This week, in addition to just trying to continue to make sense of the song contest, we are also trying to make sense of how football works.
Yeah, I got kind of a handle on that. Have you been watching the World Cup at all this year?
I have been aware of its presence, mostly just because now is the time of year where all of the Americans suddenly pretend like we've been paying attention to this thing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
As with many things, I choose to root for Iceland, who unfortunately got knocked out in the group round. But it's okay, because it's still very big for them that they made it in the first place, and they're all very happy.
Yes, yeah. It's been particularly interesting this year since the U.S. did not qualify for the World Cup, so, like, I don't know, really feel like a free agent, more so than usual.
Oh, yeah, like, I have no duty to root for my country, although what was hilarious is a New York Times crossword a few weeks ago had a clue for cheer at the World Cup. And being that I do a lot of crosswords, usually the answer for any sort of soccer cheer is Olé, because that's what you shout at a soccer game. Unfortunately, this time it was USA, as in USA. It's like, oh no, nobody told Will Shorts.
Oh no.
Yeah. And there was much outcry on crossword Twitter.
Oh dear. Well,
yeah.
We tried. I don't know how any of the qualifying works. So.
I'm sure that we tried. We probably formed a team. I think we have to do that to participate in these things.
Yeah. So I guess our angle for this one is music, as is usually the case with anything that we do on this podcast. But
goodness, there are so many tracks from Eurovision alumni and also Rans just trying to latch themselves on to the juggernaut that is the World Cup. And, like, I get it, because Coca-Cola has an official anthem, which we will get to. I mean, if Coca-Cola is making those dollars, why not get a cut for you?
Well, it's such a weird thing. And it's, like, I don't know what it is about sporting events like this that, like, cause artists to want to do anthems. I mean, I'm sure money is like a big motivator for it, but like the Olympics kind of has the same thing. There's this really great podcast, Mark and Sarah Talk About Songs, that did a episode, I guess it was a little over a year ago, where they were ranking the various Olympic anthems over the last several decades. And yeah, like I did just sort of a cursory search in Spotify a couple weeks ago, just under World Cup. So many songs, and like a lot of them are from people that nobody has ever heard of, but it's weird because like a lot of the Eurovision blogs have been also like writing about sort of the Eurovision connection with a lot of these songs, and like you said, the also rans from national selections and former contestants.
Well, I mean, if it's anything like watching the Olympics, you need to have something that's clearly blasting over the arena that you can't quite make out just going on in the background.
So many of these songs are just not good.
These are like hastily assembled, like barely have a title sort of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I don't know who the audience is for it, or like just how successful these sort of songs can be.
Oh yeah, like in listening to like the swath of songs that we pulled together for today, I'm just like, who is purchasing these things in like your MP3 store? There's no way that you are making tons of money off of this. There's no way you're getting that much streaming revenue off of this. Like, who is this for?
Not to spoil or tip our hand, but this music is not for us.
I was about to say, just like the thesis statement of today's program is these are bad songs, and I do not like many of them.
Yeah, so I guess we can just kind of dive into it.
Let's just start digging into the rich vein of why was this made?
So the first one is Coca-Cola's official anthem for the 2018 FIFA World Cup.
And I do like that its actual title is like the Coca-Cola anthem for the 2018 World Cup.
I believe their first official anthem was in 2010. Going through the Wikipedia page of World Cup songs, first of all, there's just so many of them, like I said before. But yeah, just now that it is like a branded thing of why is this? But anyway, this year's official anthem comes from Jason Derulo, and it's a song called Colors. Here's a clip of that. Saying, oh, we all together singing, look how
we come now, 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 now. There's beauty in the unity we found. I'm ready, I'm ready. We still got a long way, but look how far we come now, 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 now. Hands up for your colors.
Originally, when I saw this posted on blogs, they were talking about the connection with Ira Losco, who represented Malta in 2016. And I really liked her song in 2016. So it's like, oh, this is really cool. And she's like, I mean, Jason Derulo, that's a name. So that's a really great opportunity for her.
Oh yeah, like it's great branding because literally when you say Jason Derulo, my brain immediately plays a vocodered like Jason Derulo afterwards. Like he's got very good branding.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, cool. Like I'll add this onto our Spotify list. And so it's like doing a search for Ira Losco. And it's like, oh, it's not coming through on that. Well, I'll just do like Jason Derulo. I'm sure it'll come up on there. And of course, the song Colors did come up. And listening to it on random, sort of paying attention, but not really. And it's just like, I'm not hearing a woman's voice on this track. And like looking closer at the track listing. And it's just like, oh, she's not listed here. And then like looking up the official video on YouTube, it's like, huh, this is weird. And yeah, did a search for Jason Derulo and Ira Losco and found a video that both of them appear, never together.
Both in.
Yeah.
Not in the same scene.
Yeah. And she is doing parts that, like, in the original track, Jason is doing the vocals for that. And it's just like, okay, did she just insert herself into this video and is just doing one of those, like, karaoke app like duet things, or like what is going on here? Like I do not understand.
I mean,
what
you
is
know
happening.
how when you invite friends over for a movie night, you take the time to like green screen yourself into the background because you were there.
To be fair, it's not like she green screened herself.
There are scenes that were the Jason Derulo part in the original, but now feature Ira.
Like her sections are professionally produced music video, and like she is lip syncing to the actual words of the song. It's not like they pulled clips from other videos that she was in and threw them into the mix. But it's just, this is a collaboration because she said it was a collaboration. Like I do not understand what is happening here.
Collaboration through Ira Losco's sheer willpower.
Yeah. Which, I mean, on the one hand, more power to her. That's kind of baller.
Like if that's what you want to do with your time, cool. But also, like, we noticed and we were like, wait a minute, did you just make this yourself? This is on your official YouTube channel, but not the official mix.
The song is not on her Spotify track listing. Like you go to the artist page and they say like your most recent single, and it's like, okay, Colors is not on like her most recent singles list, and it's like, okay, well, that's weird. Neat.
Just like, let's just keep this little secret between you and I, YouTube channel.
Yeah. It's not like she's taking away from this bland commercial, like very commercial song. Like they like, what is it? Taste the feeling or something. Like there's just a whole bunch of Coke slogans in the lyrics of the song.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is just so gross for so many reasons. Mm-hmm. And then this element just like really pushes it over the top. So well done. Well done.
Excellent work, Ira. Also, what?
Yeah.
I appreciate the mystery of this song right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that we can have sort of a U.S. connection in that, oh, Jason Derulo, somebody that people have heard of. Mm-hmm. The other track on our list that features somebody that we heard of. Ben, do you want to take this one?
Sure. In just sort of a Frankensteining of so many artists at once, we have Pitbull, Arash, who were the Azerbaijani entry in 2009, Nyusha, and Blanco. I recognize two of these names, one of them because I've been following the Eurovision Song Contest, with the song Goalie, Goalie.
Mr. Worldwide, talking to the world again. Mr. Worldwide.
Kick off in the rendezvous, run up down your avenue, destination me and you. Let's go somewhere we can make a move. Together we will never lose. Champions, we breaking news. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
It is a really thought-provoking song. Mostly just going, what? As I sort of hinted at, like, this whole song and video just feels kind of like the parlor game Exquisite Corpse, in that one person started the song and video, and then it got passed to another artist, and then it got passed to another artist, and then, hey, we found some old sweepings of an old Pitbull track on the floor of the studio. Do you want us to just, like, cut those in? Sure. And then they made this song, which is a song and has a video, and that's all I have to say about it, in that it's there.
Yeah, and Pitbull had the official 2014 FIFA song, not the anthem. In my research for this episode, I learned that
anthems are a different thing, Mike.
Yeah, like there are the official anthems and then the official songs and then the official Coca-Cola song. So there's at least 3 official musical entries for each World Cup. Like I do not get it. But anyway, like Pitbull had the official song for 2014, the last time the World Cup was held. And yeah, this just seems to be a continuation of that, and it's just all things Pitbull, and it's just, he is not my favorite. I'll put it that way.
I just like the various tiers of like promotional inclusion, where you have the official Coca-Cola song, and then like further down the list, you have the Cinnamon Dr. Pepper official ringtone. Mm-hmm. Just so many levels of trying to make a buck off of these soccer.
Cinnamon Dr. Pepper. Yes, I think that is just the exact description for all of these songs.
Oh yeah, no, like I was sitting here trying to think of, okay, what's the worst possible like one-off soda promotion thing?
But I mean, that's just it. It's just like you only have this specific thing that is only going to be relevant for maybe 6 weeks at the most, particularly in the US, where it's like we're not even participating.
It's on at the bar, but that's about it.
Yeah, and it's
on at the bar, and we are shouting goal no matter which team gets the goal in. We're just very happy that they got a point.
And then you just have like these songs that's like, could this song exist outside of the World Cup? I mean, maybe this one's not the best one for that argument, just because it's called Goalie, Goalie, and half of the lyrics are goalie, 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 goalie.
Most of the lyrics are the word goalie. I will give the title this. It does what it says on the tin.
Yeah, it's...
I like that our default state with this song is just exasperation.
As a cash grab, like it's not even a cash grab, because it's like there is no cash to grab for something like this.
There's not a whole lot of cash to be grabbed, and it's such a glut of people trying to make a buck off. Like, who is the target audience? If we look at like what Russia is pumping, because they are the host.
Yeah, and again, it's kind of a mixed bag. 2 of Russia's runners-up from the last several years, Buranovsky Babushki, also known as the Russian Grannies from 2012. They have their EDM, I guess that's what you'd call it, EDM track, Welcome to Russia. Which I guess is playing at the airport. I don't know.
I mean, like, that feels like a very good place for is at the airport, like, when you get in. It is a perfectly pleasant series of Russian grandmothers saying Russian words over an EDM beat.
Yeah, and I mean, they're dressed in their full, like, Russian grandma drag.
I did like that, it's been 6 years since we last heard from the Grannies. Mm-hmm. Noticed some new members, where it turns out that the group is very much like a reverse Menudo, in that people get swapped out when they get to a certain age, but this time it's because of death, not because of puberty.
We don't know that. I guess this one doesn't bother me as much as the first 2 that we talked about, just because, like, this group is kind of marketed as a novelty group, so doing a novelty song doesn't strike me as offensive.
Oh yeah, no, like, this is just what they do, is that they are grandmas, and they give you the basics of Russian culture, and there's like a nice little dance track behind it.
Yeah, and it's just like, they're just there to have a good time, and like, it doesn't seem like there's hours of studio work going into it.
Oh yeah, no. Like, the one grandson drove up to the house, played the track, and had them talk in the microphone, and we're done. Great to see you.
It's not like they need to turn a profit or anything like that. But the other track from Russia is from 2015's runner-up, or actually, no, she finished in 3rd, sorry. Polina Gagarina with the song Team 2018.
Через тернии прямо к звездам, выше, дальше, так легко и просто. Мы начнем и только побеждаем, если вновь взлетаем. Мы знаем, в чем правда. Ты наша команда.
And I actually kind of like this song, and I think part of it is it's not in English, so it's tougher to tell if it's just like being as gross as a Coca-Cola song, or it also feels like it's something that can exist outside of this like World Cup ecosystem.
Exactly. This one was another one like you. Like I also thought this one was towards the top of the entries we listened to, just because again, it feels like a song whose lifespan is not entirely tied to the World Cup, even though its name is just Team 2018.
I thought Paulina got a raw deal in 2015. Like that was the year that everybody was booing at Russia, and like she was bursting into tears in the green room, and it's like, no, you gave a great performance. Like even like Conchita was just like, no, you deserve to be here, and you deserve to get the points that you are getting. And she has an amazing voice, and I think she has a good pop sensibility, and this song demonstrates that.
This one is another one that has like a couple other artists on it, but it feels much more focused. Like one of those artists is a DJ. So he's mostly just guiding the direction of the track, and then there's some standard rap verse that's there and is fine and is, you know, just works with the track. And again, like it feels like this was made on purpose and not just, oh hey, we have all of these various sessions, let's try and make a thing out of them.
It's not a great song, but I mean, if it comes on the radio 6 months from now, I'll probably still listen to it, or at least not be like, oh no, not this song, and like move on to the next track.
Oh yeah, like is it a great song? No, but it's fine for what it is, and like that's okay. Like this is something I would not mind pumping over the sound of the stadium as a game is on. My pick for the cream of the crop, and admittedly this is just because I like Iceland, didn't like their entry this year for Eurovision, but do like this little check-in from Pollapönk, who was their entry in 2014, that was just brightly colored and singing about tolerance. And they've just got a new song. Let's play a clip. Okay, so I'm going to butcher the name of this one. This is Boltann punginn, which means the ball in the balls, and I think it's just about Iceland's history. I just like their whole kind of pop punk for kids thing. It's a group where half their members are kindergarten teachers.
That's so awesome.
Oh yeah, it's like much like with the Icelandic soccer team, where every little detail I find out about them just endears me to them more. Like it's the same with Pollapönk, where only one of their members is a professional musician who just gigs in a bunch of bands. Two of them are kindergarten teachers who wanted to take their previous experience being in an alt-rock band in the 90s and just make music for kids that they wanted to listen to. Yeah, like this is it's just a fun song. It's got a lot of energy, and it's another one where maybe it's just because it's in another language, but it feels better. It feels a little bit more pure.
I think it's also just a case of like, oh, we're just making music for the sake of making music. I don't think they are gunning for the 2022 Coca-Cola sponsorship or whatever.
No.
It's such a fun track and just so inoffensive. It really reminds me of They Might Be Giants, particularly around the time that they did their children's album.
Yeah, the kids' albums, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a real delight to listen to.
Pollapönk is like one of the rare bands that I dug into after their initial Eurovision appearance, just because I really, really clicked with them. A lot of their songs are just very simple. Like they have a song that's basically about the ambulance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it is great. The chorus is just them making ambulance noises.
Nice.
Yeah, like it's just wonderful, and I love it. This is just very much in that same vein as this and their song from Eurovision, where it's just very, very high energy.
What I liked about their performance in 2014 was just how colorful it is, and you can get that even audibly, like just how colorful and bright everything is about what they're putting into their music. So this one is a fun find.
Then like the one that I heard and was like, oh no, we need to talk about this one. We need to discuss this. Dschinghis Khan, who was the German entrant in 1979 with the song Dschinghis Khan. I saw their name on the list and I was like, okay, so Moskau was like an Olympics thing in 1980. Did they just do like a specially timed re-release? Oh, they did so much more.
Moscow, hey, we're gonna win the cup, and we're going to the top. Ha 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 ha. Hey, Moscow, yeah, we're gonna rock the town. truck is gonna bring us out. Oh, 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 oh. Moskau, Moskau, yeah, we're gonna kick that ball, breaking every human wall. Oh, 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 oh. Hey, Moskau, Moskau, football is like a track. We'll be dancing.
It's them and some other guy who is there and singing over the top of this song, and so one of the music sites I follow, Pop Justice, does a great breakdown of what's going on in pop, and in particular they're based in the UK, so I get some stuff outside of like my normal pop music bubble, which is awesome. But for a while last year, they were always ending that weekly playlist with whatever no-name DJ was doing a terrible tropical house cover of some song from the 80s, like Summer of 69 or all sorts of stuff. This just felt like that, in that you're remaking the song, but in a bad way. It's so bad. The original version of this song has like special meaning to me just because it's very cheesy. And there's a version of it where somebody has transcribed what they hear of the lyrics because they don't actually speak German. And it was the funniest thing to me for like a solid week and a half.
Oh, was that the Buffalax?
Yeah, the Buffalax version is just beautiful. And maybe it's because like the first time I encountered the Buffalax version, I was in the middle of a puzzle thing where I had been like up for a day and a half straight and just slap happy. But like I was in tears laughing at the song to the point where it just sort of ended up in my regular playlist rotation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like this one, and I read an article, I think it was last month, that Dschinghis Khan had reformed or reunited. I know a couple of their members have passed on since their
Is
heyday
doing a
in the
hologram
mid-80s,
tour like
but
ABBA?
I don't think it's at that level.
There's not a big enough fan base to pay for that.
There might be, because the original version of Moscow, Moscow was #1 in Australia for 6 weeks because it was used as the promotional track for the 1980 Olympics. Yeah. And there's just no accounting for taste. I mean, like, hello, we're doing this podcast.
What was very confusing about this new version of the song is that the video features the remaining members of Dschinghis Khan and the guy who is singing on top of the song for some reason, and then like 5 other people who are never explained, are not listed in the credits, are just there. And I assume that these are German people that German people know. But as someone who's just like, what's going on, was very confusing.
Yeah. And then also looking this up on Spotify, I believe there are a dozen versions of different languages. There's the English version, the international version, the German version. I think there's a Russian version. Like, it's just like, wow, there's okay, sure.
Look, they bought a day of studio time, and it took about 20 minutes to do the first version. And they wanted to get their money's worth, so let's do it in Swahili.
There we go. Unfortunately, Germany also got knocked out early.
Oh,
I hope that doesn't dampen the success of this track.
Now they'll never be
overall.
the Coca-Cola official anthem.
Oh well. This is only a handful of the Eurovision associated World Cup songs that are out there just for this year.
If you heard the sample for these songs and were like, where can I find more of this? Great news. There's so much of it. There's too much of it.
We didn't even get into the Melfest alumni who are putting out tracks, and we have a whole YouTube playlist in our show notes. I guess something to look forward to 4 years from now to see so much more alumni. Like, we haven't even talked about the version of Fever that Alexander Rybak did, where he replaced Fever with FIFA.
Oh no.
Oh
dear.
yes. Yeah. And what you're picturing, you are correct. So
just, oh dear.
I'll throw that link in the show notes
please
too.
do.
Yeah.
Please
yeah.
do.
It's
also in a rare recommendation for the show. Don't listen to these. These are terrible. Maybe like watch the videos with the sound off or with a song you like playing instead.
listen to the Paulina one, listen to Pollapönk.
Yeah, listen to the Pollapönk one. The Pollapönk one is good. The Paulina one is good. No. I was about to say maybe listen to it, but no. Maybe like turn the Jason Derulo one on just for like long enough to hear like the vocoded version of his name, and then just like turn it off.
You could also just get a ringtone that has Jason Derulo.
You could just search on YouTube for Jason Derulo vocoder and probably get like that for on like a 10-minute.
Yeah. But so much. Oh well.
Yeah, there are so many of these songs, and they exist for reasons that we just don't understand as Americans. Much like soccer, if you think about it.
I guess we tried. We're not going to make sense of all of Europe's pop music predilections, I don't think. So, and I guess that's going to do it for this episode of the EuroWhat. You can find our previous episodes on our website at eurowhat.com, or by subscribing through Apple Podcasts or the podcast app of your choice. When you add the subscription, feel free to rate and review us to let us know how we're doing and help other Eurovision fans find us. You can also find us on social media at EuroWhat on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Feel free to send us your comments, questions, any feedback. We'd love to hear from you.
If we did miss your favorite soccer track, please do not send us that. We are good.
I'm actually kind of curious.
I mean, on the other hand, like if you really have one, yeah, like I am morbidly curious. Just like you guys didn't talk about this one.
Words escape us. So
what fresh hell is
Yeah.
this?
True. We'll be back in a couple of weeks.